Welcome back to Everyday Woman, and we are helping the single ladies out there. I know you're spending your money on a lot of things that are fun, but we need to take control. So we have Emily Chase Smith here. She's an entrepreneur and money expert. And how do we help single ladies out and making sure that they're planning for their future?
I think the one thing that single ladies need to remember is they are it. And they probably know that, but to really kind of internalize, you're it. You're the plan A, you're the plan B, and you're the plan C. And to kind of own that and use that as kind of a foundation for when you're looking at your finances is really give yourself a safety net in you.
That's so hard to think about, a safety net. What do they need to even think about with a safety net, or kind of having the emergency fund?
Well, it's interesting because if you have a married couple, if somebody loses their job, somebody still has their job. But if you're single, whether you're a lady or a man, that was you. That was 100% of your income. Or if there's furlough days or anything like that, it doesn't even have to be as drastic as a job loss. So you want to build your house of financial cards such that you can remove a card and it doesn't just all fall to the ground and the world's over and you're left scrambling.
Well, I remember when I first got my first job in my 20s. Well, that wasn't my first job. I did waitress and all of that and bus girl. But when I got my first real job after college, you get those college statements. The debt starts piling in. But then you also have the company saying, "Hey, here's our retirement plan." How do you think about both those things? Because I know it's so important to start your retirement plan then. But if you have debt to pay off, what do you do?
It's interesting. It kind of depends on the debt. If you're looking at credit card debt that's like high interest debt, big monthly payments, put off your retirement plan, especially if you're young, because you still have time, and just get rid of that. You don't want to be living the next 40 or 50 years under the tyranny of credit card debt. But aside from that, like if you're looking at play money and how much you're going to allocate to certain things, start the retirement, because especially if there's a match, it's like you just got a raise.
It's free money right there.
Yeah, and then if you go online and you do a interest calculator, you can just play with the compound interest. If I put X amount of dollars away for this many months, when I'm 60, I'm on a beach in the Caribbean, man. I'm done. So, and that's exciting.
It is exciting. One of my employers gave me, just I think as an IRA, and it's a really small amount of money. And I was like, really? What am I going to do with this? But I've let that thing sit, and it's just growing. I'm like, that's great, I didn't even have to think about it. Mm-hmm. But I think the hard part for people thinking about investing, especially for single people, is do I have to be on top of this? Because I've got a million other things I'd rather be doing than sitting and worrying about my investments and mutual funds and all that.
That's true, especially if you're a single woman with kids. I mean, good grief, you have like more on your plate than it's even possible. It's like falling off the edges of the plate. The best thing is if you can set it and forget it. If you have a stable job, you can say, I'm allocating X number of dollars a month. It's either going to go automatically into a savings account, I'm going to do it through my employer, and I'm going to forget about it. And I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to put it in something relatively safe and just let it be there as my backup.
Okay. And some of the things that the 20-somethings are really facing now is getting out of college, thinking they're going to get their first job and be able to start on their own, and not really finding the job right away. When do they have to decide, you know what, I'm going to have to just move back in with my parents?
God, that's a good question. My strategy is always, when it's waking you up at night, you have a problem. So if you are struggling so much and that's maybe a decision, if you have anxiety about it, just do it. I mean, certainly you're not going to be the only one, right? And if it can help you get a leg up, especially that student loan debt is so crushing. People come out with sometimes 6+ figures in student loan debt. Get rid of that. If it means you're living in the basement, live in the basement for a couple of years and be done. So you can have your life back.
There you go. You just spend a couple months in the basement and you can get your life back. Yep. Thank you so much for that. If you have more information or more questions for us, check us out at everydaywoman.com.